I just got done watching NXT Takeover Orlando. I believe Orlando is where NXT was born. So you can say NXT finally came home. Before I get into the show, I need to get something off my chest. Almost like a confession, if you will. Your boy Deluxe, man, if you haven't noticed, has not been talking about NXT. I used to do weekly reviews. I used to praise beyond adore NXT. I used to be the main guy on here saying NXT is the best wrestling promotion in the world. If you're not in NXT, you're not with it. If you're not with NXT, if you're not watching NXT, I feel sorry for you. That was me. I haven't been doing that as of lately. Why is that? You ever ask yourself, why does the Lex Man not do a lot of NXT reviews? Nobody asks that. Here I am, front and center, looking you dead in your face. Your faces, those of you watching me. And I'm going to tell you the reason why. It's as simple as this. NXT, not a bad show. Not amazing, though. It used to be amazing. You can say, well, the draft killed NXT. You can say, well, since they lost their head writer, Ryan Ward, who is now the writer of SmackDown, and SmackDown right now is the best show in WWE. And hey, what do you expect when you have a great writer like Ryan Ward? You can blame NXT on losing a lot of stuff. And yes, it's still in the recovery period. However, my issue with NXT dates way back before the draft. And the best word I can describe NXT now is cliche. Yeah. NXT is cliche. It's average. It's just like every other promotion. It's good. All the stories that they're doing it well. All the performers, they're great. It's nothing against the performers. It's nothing against the show itself. It all has to do with the fact that NXT stopped breaking ground. It stopped producing, in my personal opinion, new stories. And I miss the days where NXT was giving us something new every single week. I think about the Sami Zayns and the Baileys and the Finn Balors and the Samoa Joes and the Kevin Owens and all those other amazing talent that have moved up. And that's great. I'm happy for them. But I think about what they did with Sami Zayn in 2014. Neville, the longest reigning NXT champion at the time, went on a tear. Sami Zayn, it's a story that maybe you can say has been done before, but it's written differently and presented differently. He's losing all these matches, and he goes on a long streak of losing matches and opportunities. And so when he finally gets it, he finally gets the opportunity to fight a Neville, the fans are begging, on their hands and knees begging, come on, Sammy, you need to win. And he wins. He's a star. He's amazing. And then the very next month, Kevin Owens jumps in and rips the championship away from him. Instantly, Kevin Owens becomes the top heel in the company. Not just the promotion, but the company. We stopped doing stuff like that. Bayley, when she took on Sasha Banks, similar story. Failing opportunities, losing, but at the same time, she's maintaining her character. She never has her personality, her morals challenged. It is challenged, but she maintains who she is through all of this. And she finally becomes women's champion, and it's one of the greatest matches I've ever seen in terms of women. Greatest women's matches I've ever seen. Absolute classic. And I think about all those things NXT used to do, and I ask myself, when was the last time NXT has done that for me? When was the last time NXT created that feeling for me? They haven't. Because they stopped telling you stories. The stuff with Shinsuke Nakamura and Samoa Joe, Joe attacks Shinsuke, he's out for months and comes back. I've seen that 10,000 times. It was done well. But I've seen it 10,000 times, so I know what's going to happen. So when it happens, I'm not shocked. Shinsuke beating Samoa Joe, he's undefeated. He goes into whatever NXT special that was. Was that Brooklyn? I'm not too sure. It was Brooklyn. And he beats him. Okay. I saw it coming. It's nothing that's making me go, I have to watch NXT. And that's the only real criticism I have for the show. It's not that it's a bad show. It's not that it doesn't produce good wrestling. The problem here in 2017, every company is producing good wrestling. I get good wrestling on the main roster now. I get good wrestling from ROH, from New Japan Pro Wrestling, from PWG, from the UK tournament, from CWC. And CWC is kind of what I was hoping NXT would be. But the problem here now, the draft has killed NXT. They lost their head writer, a great writer in Rotten Ward. But now it's become cliche. And what do we have? We have a show that once in a while does have matches of the year. I mean, last year they had match of the year. That tag match between DIY and Revival, amazing. I'm not saying you guys don't produce great stuff, amazing stuff. But there isn't enough narrative. What's the word I'm looking for? The narrative strength and the storytelling of your show isn't as strong as it used to be. And as a result, I'm at the point where I'll tune into it once in a while. I don't have to watch it every week. And I don't have to talk about it every week. I don't feel the need to talk about it. I don't feel the need to praise it as much because, well, one, everybody knows NXT is good now. But at the same time, it's not as good as it used to be. So that is my main criticism of NXT. It's not to knock the show. It's not to say that it's a terrible show and you should stop watching it. It's just the simple fact that it's become cliche. And if I can find that wrestling cliche book that they're using to write these stories, I would get it. I would burn it. And I would tell the writers and whoever's running the show, Triple H, William Regal, I would tell them, start over. Make up new stories. Go back to what NXT has been known for. And that is creating new stars with new stories, with fresh ideas, with fresh matches, with a fresh feel. Go back to it. Go back to the time when NXT used to be in front, used to be the lead promotion, used to control the business in terms of this is what every wrestling company used to be. That's it. That's all I gotta say about NXT nowadays. Not a real big knock on the company. It's just the fact that, yeah, thank you for the good wrestling, but tell new stories. That's all I got. But getting into the actual show now, that was a lot. You know, a big chunk of this review went to me giving my thoughts on NXT, and that was expected because I don't talk about NXT all that much. But as for the show itself, damn good show. The wrestling was good. Like I said before, it's not the wrestling. It's not the talent. It's the stories. It's the narrative that's missing. And we can get that back. If we can get that back, I think NXT can be just as good as it used to be. And we can start producing not the next Sami Zayn or the next Bayley or the next whatever. I'm not even talking about being the next this. Screw being the next whatever. Producing new. Producing the next Kassius Ohno. The next Kassius... Yeah, the next Kassius Ohno. The next Hideo Itami. The next Bobby Roode. Shinsuke Nakamura. Producing the newest acquisition to go to the main roster that makes us go, we're entering a new golden era. Definitely. So, the show was 2 hours and 30 minutes. It premiered on April 1st, April Fool's 2017, in Orlando, Florida, Amway Center, if I said that right. Attendance was 14,975. Not a bad attendance. That's a big crowd. Commentary was Tom Phillips, Showtime, Percy Watson, and Nigel McGuinness. Ring announcer was Mike Rome. I like him. I like Mike. He brings energy to the matches. That's pretty cool. Other than my issues with the overall narrative perspective of NXT, I gotta say, man, they never cease to fail when it comes to these NXT takeovers. When it comes to producing good wrestling inside the ring. We got some new NXT Championship belts. Like that. Love the look of the new belts. They look a lot better than the main roster belts. I don't mind saying that. Your championship belts look a lot better than the main roster belts. And I appreciate that. Thank you. We saw Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre was live at the arena. And he looks to be making a comeback. He will be on NXT. Great. Good. Stay away from the main roster right now. Go on NXT, rebuild yourself, reestablish who you are, and then move up when it's time. I like that. That's really, really cool. Good to see him back. Before the show, we see No Way Jose get attacked by SAniTY, and so he gets replaced with Kassius Ohno in the first match. SAniTY takes on Tye Dillinger, Roderick Strong, Ruby Riot, and Kassius Ohno. The winner was SAniTY, Eric Young, Nikki Cross, Killian Dain, and Alexander Wolfe. Fun popcorn match. Here's my thing when it comes to Tye Dillinger. I think they're trying to go down the route of Sami Zayn. He loses all his matches. He can't win the big one. And again, it goes back to the whole wrestling cliche issue I have. He's doing it well, and clearly he's getting over. I think he, more than likely, is the most popular talent on NXT. He's crossed over into the main roster now. His whole 10 gimmick is on the main roster, and he's not on the main roster yet. So yeah, I do feel like, in a sense, Tye Dillinger might as well be the best performer in terms of baby faces. However, you don't see me wearing a Tye Dillinger t-shirt, and that's for a reason. Listen, if I'm a big fan of you, I'm going to buy your shirt. Look at this, Shinsuke Nakamura. But for me, Tye Dillinger, I like him. He's missing something. I don't know what it is. He's missing a moment. He's missing a story. He's missing an element to his character that makes me go, okay, I want you as my world champion. I don't know what it is. Maybe you do. But whatever it is, it's stopping me from crossing that threshold into making me an ultimate fanboy of his. It's just, I like him. I like the gimmick. He's entertaining. World champion, NXT champion, not yet. Not quite there yet. And that's just the honest truth. So when SAniTY beat him, I didn't really feel upset. I was like, yeah, cool. And I love SAniTY. I think SAniTY is one of the best groups they have. At least for WWE. I love this group. I look forward to seeing what they do with them. And I look forward to seeing what other stories they tell with Tye Dillinger. Because I can tell they have every intention of making him a world champion. Great. Or NXT champion, excuse me. Regardless, whatever they want to make him. Awesome. You need to fix whatever element is missing from him. And that comes from creating a new story for him. Get rid of the wrestling cliches. And start with a new story. See where it goes. We have the debut of Alister Black, a.k.a. Tommy End. He took on Andrade, Cien, Almas. It was solid. This is one of those matches where I kind of feel like maybe it would have been better if we debuted him with like a local talent or a match where he can just really dominate somebody. And that's something I miss from NXT. We don't do... Well, we still do the jobber matches. We still have the local wrestlers come in to make other people look good. But I used to remember one of the things that I loved was when we had CJ Parker. Baron Corbin came in. And at first, we were thinking it's a jobber match for CJ Parker. He's going to beat Baron Corbin. And then Baron Corbin beats him in 30 seconds. And we're like, whoa, okay. Well, who is this guy? You know, it's a great way to debut him. With Alister Black versus Andrade Cien Almas, solid match. But again, it's like, yeah, it's okay, he's going to come in and beat him. Okay? That's it. That was my only issue with the match. It's a solid match. It's just, I knew he's going to win because it's a debut match. It's his debut match. So he's going to win. Someone even asked me, would you be more excited at Cien Almas? Andrade Cien Almas, you know what I was trying to say. If he won over Alister Black. And I thought about it for a minute. I went, that would be different. That would be very different. And I would be interested in seeing where it goes. And honestly, maybe that would have been the best way to go. Not trying to knock Alister Black. I think he's a great talent. But not everybody has to win their debut match. You know? Solid match. I enjoyed it, but I'm looking for something to pull me. Like, I gotta watch NXT. I will say this, though. The NXT Tag Team Championship Triple Threat match. Elimination Triple Threat match. Authors are playing DIY, Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, and The Revival, Dash and Dawson. Awesome. This is awesome. This was an awesome match. A great showcase. A great showcase for all 6 men. I love seeing Revival and DIY put their differences aside and work together as a unit to take out a bigger threat, an AOP. That was something new. See, this is a great example of what I'm talking about with NXT. This match was awesome, and it's new. We see these 2 awesome tag teams that had match of the year. They're a rivalry. They have a bitter history. And they had to put all of that aside to take out AOP, who is this dominant monster group that's running a roughshod through everybody on the entire roster. Just tearing through all bodies, leaving a waste of bodies and death in their wake. It's just an amazing tag team that nobody can beat. Nobody can beat. That's unstoppable. So, to take them out, we have these other 2 tag teams that go out of their way to put their differences aside to take them on. We see them using each other's freaking tag team finishers. You see them at first wanting to stop them. Like, I love that one spot where I think it was Scott Dawson who hooked one of the, I don't know, it was Akam or Razor, I don't know, one of the people in AOP, and the submission move, that leg lock. And you see Johnny Gargano going in to stop them, but then he froze for a minute. And he's like, maybe I shouldn't stop this. Maybe I should help him. And then he helps him out. It made AOP look like monsters. And so when AOP somehow, some way, manages to fight back and eliminate both teams, at the end of the match you go, who the hell can beat these guys? Who the hell can beat AOP? I want to see more of that. I would love to continue watching NXT for that. And I wish NXT would do more of that. That would make me go, oh man, NXT is one of the best shows in the world. Absolutely. And even the next match here, NXT Women's Championship. Asuka versus Ember Moon. Great back and forth action. Love the story of Ember Moon kicking out of all the moves that usually end matches for Asuka. And that's what I love about this, because Asuka has been winning all her matches for basically a year now. Over a year. She's held that belt for basically a year now. Asuka has won matches in so many ways, using different moves. So when Ember Moon kicked out of every move that would usually win a match for Asuka, it's a big deal. Oh crap, what can Asuka do? Does Asuka have to go outside of her, her realm of normality? I can't find the right word for it. The normal realm she usually goes to beat her opponents. Just complete basic moves that just are much more devastating with Asuka than anybody else. But since Ember Moon is kicking out, what should she do? What does Asuka have? She has the Asuka lock. She didn't hook that in. But Ember Moon, however, has one move. A devastating move that if she hits, that's it. That's it. And that's the mentality I had. All Ember Moon has to do is hit one move. But that is also her weakness. All Asuka has to do is avoid one move. And that's what she did. Asuka avoided that one move that most likely would have gotten her the loss. How did she do it? She did it by cheating. She pushed the referee into Ember Moon on the turnbuckle, knocked her off, hit her with that sick buzzsaw kick, and beat her. And that's interesting. That's the kind of shit I like. I like that stuff. I like that. Because Asuka, someone who has never cheated, ever, in her entire life, got in a situation where she knew she was about to lose. And so what did she do? She got desperate, pushed the referee, and won. It adds an element to her character. So now it's like, okay, so Asuka is willing to cheat to keep that championship. And Ember Moon forced her to do that. It makes Ember look strong. It makes Asuka look a lot more interesting because now it's like, all right, she's on top for the longest time, and she's so desperate to remain on top that she's willing to cheat to do it. Now I want to see the match. Now we have a reason to see the rematch. More than anything, we never saw the Eclipse. Ember Moon never hit the Eclipse. So now I'm thinking, okay, what if she did hit the Eclipse? Would she win? I gotta know! We gotta do a rematch! There you go, man. That's how you do it. And the main event, great. I loved it. It was glorious, if you will. NXT Championship, Bobby Roode taking on Shinsuke Nakamura. The man! Love me some Shinsuke. Definitely better than their first match. I love this match a lot more than that. The first one was no more for the controversy, if anything else. I mean, it was done very well. It created the idea that Bobby Roode wouldn't have won that championship if Shinsuke was in healthy condition. Well, he was. He was tonight. Guess what? Bobby still beat him. He beat him clean. He tried to cheat. I love that spot where he goes for the ring bell and then was so desperate to keep the championship. He tells the referee, disqualify me! Disqualify me! Disqualify me! And he didn't do it. And so Bobby Roode was forced to dig deep and pull out a new move. I love the finish. I love that glorious tornado DDT. And he wins. He beats Shinsuke Nakamura. Clean. Clean. It makes him look like a legit champion. See, that's the kind of heel champion I like. I like those heel champions that could cheat. That could go outside the rules to maintain their championship or to maintain their spot. But they don't have to. They don't need to. They just choose to. Because of their character. Because of their pride. And now, with Bobby Roode being the champion, I have to think, okay, where does Shinsuke go from here? I'm thinking it's time. I think it is time. I think Shinsuke's getting ready to move up. We'll see. I do have one more request. One last request. And it's this. Before Shinsuke moves up, he needs to have one more match. That's against Hideo Itami. I say it be at an NXT Takeover, but it could be on an NXT show. And I would love for it to be number one contendership. Hideo Itami versus Shinsuke Nakamura. I think Shinsuke should put over Hideo Itami. And then we do Hideo versus Bobby Roode. I would love that. That's what I think should happen. So, overall, good show. Wrestling was tight. Wrestling was well done. Talent, great. Love Bobby Roode. Love Shinsuke Nakamura. I love the people who are on the show. I just feel like we need more stories. We need newer narratives going on here to make me go, I have to watch this. I need to know where this is going because I've never seen this before. But that's just my opinion. That's my thoughts on NXT. How do you feel about NXT TakeOver Orlando? Thank you guys for watching me. I'll catch you tonight for WWE WrestleMania 33. This is your boy, Dillenger signing off. In Dillenger World. You guys take it easy. Peace.